I never thought I'd be the guy sitting in his car at 3 a.m., staring at the steering wheel, trying to process the end of a marriage he thought would last forever. But that's exactly where I found myself because of one confession that changed everything. Before I take you into the moment that shattered my world, let me say this. If something feels off in your relationship, don't silence that instinct. Don't gaslight yourself into believing everything's fine when your heart is screaming that it's not. Trust it. It may hurt, but it won't lie. Emma and I had spent over 2 decades building a life together. We met young, too young some would say, but it worked, or at least it looked like it did. Our marriage was full of memories. Late-night drives, birthdays that turned into traditions, and 2 incredible kids we raised together. We were the kind of couple people pointed to and said, "That's what lasting love looks like." But love, real, enduring love, doesn't just die in a day. It erodes quietly, like a slow leak beneath the surface, until one day everything collapses without warning. Except now I realize the signs were there. I just wasn't ready to see them. Emma had always been charismatic, the kind of person who could light up a room just by walking into it. I used to watch her from across the room and feel lucky. But in the final months of our marriage, that light had shifted. It wasn't gone, just no longer shining in my direction. Started small. She was on her phone more than usual, laughed at messages she wouldn't share, suddenly had team dinners that ran late even though she used to hate office events. And when I asked, she'd smile that same warm smile and say, "You're overthinking, Ben. I'd never do anything to hurt you." And I believed her, because for 20 years she hadn't. At least that's what I thought. One night, she told me she was heading to a coworker's farewell dinner. I was folding laundry in the living room, half watching a movie. She came downstairs in a dress I hadn't seen in years. Navy blue, fitted, the one she used to wear on our date nights. She looked beautiful, but something about it didn't sit right. "You look amazing," I said. She smiled, "Thanks." Don't wait up. Don't wait up. 3 words that hit me harder than I expected because deep down I think I already knew. She didn't come home until nearly 2 a.m. Her excuse was rehearsed. We ended up at a rooftop bar after dinner. I lost track of time. I nodded, said it was fine, but something inside me cracked that night. A few days later, while she was in the shower, I did something I swore I'd never do. I checked her phone. I didn't go looking for heartbreak, but I found it anyway. There was a message thread with someone named Alex. The texts weren't just flirtatious, they were intimate. They talked about things we hadn't talked about in years. There was one message in particular that hit like a punch to the gut. "Last night felt right. I wish we didn't have to hide this anymore." I remember staring at those words, my hands shaking, a lump rising in my throat so fast I could barely breathe. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the realization that everything I believed about my life, my marriage, was built on a lie. She came out of the shower, her hair wrapped in a towel, smiling like nothing had happened. I couldn't keep it in. I showed her the messages. "Who is Alex?" She froze. For the first time in years I saw fear in her eyes. Not fear of me, fear of being exposed. She sat on the bed, her voice barely a whisper. "It was a mistake, Ben. Just one night. It didn't mean anything." Isn't it strange how people always say that? It didn't mean anything. As if that's supposed to soften the blow. I asked her how long it had been going on. She swore it was just that one night, swore she regretted it, swore she still loved me. And maybe part of her did. But love doesn't survive betrayal. Not the kind that creeps into your home, into your bed, into the moments you thought were yours alone. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just sat there, staring at the woman I thought I knew, realizing I didn't know her at all. The next morning I packed a bag and left. I didn't tell the kids why. Not right away. I just said, Dad needed some time. And for the first time in my life I stayed at a hotel with no plan, no next step, just the unbearable weight of heartbreak pressing on my chest. Emma tried to fix it. I called. She wrote emails. She left letters in my suitcase. One of them said, "We've been through so much. Please don't let one mistake erase everything we've built." But it wasn't one mistake. It was every lie that followed it. Every smile that masked the truth. Every quiet moment where she chose someone else instead of fixing what we had. I thought about forgiving her. I really did. But I realized I would never trust her again. And if there's no trust, there's no marriage. Just a memory of what it used to be. The divorce was quiet. No fights. No screaming. Just two people signing papers in a room that used to be filled with dreams. In the months that followed, I focused on rebuilding, not just my life but myself. I went back to the gym. I picked up my camera again. I reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in years. I started writing stories, journals, things I never had time for before. Turns out, heartbreak makes room for rediscovery. Emma and I still talk, for the kids mostly. And sometimes, in the quiet of the night, I wonder if things could have been different. But then I remember that moment. Her eyes full of guilt, my heart full of cracks, and I know I made the right decision. Because sometimes, the bravest thing you can do isn't staying and fighting for something broken. It's walking away so you can finally breathe again. If you're reading this and you're in that place, the in-between, the not sure, the maybe it's nothing, listen to yourself. Your peace matters. Your trust matters. And above all, you deserve to be loved honestly.